Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to attending the joint webinar held by ZWSOFT and Szansa. My name is Rose, coming from the Overseas Division, responsible for the Global Eco Partner System. It is my pleasure to be your host today. And please allow me to introduce the agenda. First of all, you will be shared the highlight news about ZWSOFT. We are very happy to share the joyful of our development with you. In the same time, we're always willing to enhance the cooperation with global eco partners to reach more global vertical CAD users year by year. By pushing this direction, we are working hard to organize this joint webinar series. We aim to invite more eco partners to join us. So you can expect more webinars with different vertical eco partners in coming months. Today, we're happy to invite Szansa company from Poland, the developer of ZWCAD since 2009, and also our #1 local channel partner over 15 years in Europe. Szansa have over 25 professional and 4 offices in Poland. They have been collaborated with ZWSOFT to distribute our products since 2005. They have over 10 applications used by professionals from various sectors. During this webinar, we will present this application running on ZWCAD 2024 and demonstrated how each of them can benefit your specific line of work, and explore how ZWTraffic, ZWGeo, and ZWNesting from Szansa can streamline your workflow in ZWCAD. Now, please allow me to introduce the speakers from Szansa today. Mr. Maciek, the Business Development Manager, who will share the company profile of Szansa. Mr. Matthews, who will do the demo of the 3 applications of you guys. Okay, now it's time to begin our agenda. Maciek, I have a small problem to sharing the PowerPoint. Maybe you can start. Okay?
Okay, so sure.
Yeah.
So
okay. No problem.
Thank you very much, Rose. Let me share my screen now.
Okay.
Please let me know if everything is working.
Yes, it's working. Yes, perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much. As Rose mentioned, my name is Maciek Mleczko, and I'm from Szansa IT Solutions, Polish company. And I'm here with Mateusz Janusiak, and we'll be talking briefly about a few of our add-ons. As Rose mentioned, we are working with ZWSOFT for over 18 years. And from 2009, we're also developer of a few add-ons of our own. And today we're gonna talk about a few of them. In any case, if you would like to contact us or see the rest of our products, you can visit our international website, which is cadextender.com, or contact us at office@cadextender.com or any local ZWCAD resellers and distributors, since we're working with them as well. Now, as you can see, just a few of our products. There are 10 products, 10 applications for ZWCAD together, and each of them is working in ZWCAD only. It's not available in any other CAD solution. Each of our products can be tested for 30 days, so you can see what the application is up to, and perhaps it will be something that you can use in your work. Let's look at 3 of them today, which is ZWNesting, ZWGeo, and ZWTraffic. ZWNesting is a simple solution that is really useful for people who work in CAD and need to some kind of optimize elements on a sheet, for example, for printing, for cutting. The applications can do simple and complicated calculations, which can make sure that you're not wasting any material while using your tools. ZWGeo is a tool that we have for surveyors and any people who work on maps. The application is able to import and export GIS data with options to edit them, of course, but also have tools for working with rasters, with importing maps, working with points and lines and making tables. ZWTraffic is our most, the biggest solution that we have. It is designed for basically everyone who's working on road elements, road constructions, or making designs of roads, for example. ZWTraffic has plenty of already installed libraries of signs, for example, but also tools to make sure that your work with roadside elements are fast and convenient. Let's look at ZWTraffic first. ZWTraffic, as all of our albums are available in Polish and English, but ZWTraffic also has French, German, Czech, and I think it's those additional languages at the moment. And as I mentioned, that you can always test the application for 30 days, so you can see, but let me show you a few options that can be done in add-on. First of all, set up a sign. When you're working on road elements, you obviously need to make signs. The application has already implemented a library with already made signs, which are dedicated for some regions. For example, Poland has Polish library. We also made Czech and German versions, which are fully localized and have every sign that is available in those countries. You can also make your own libraries. Each sign that is already made in the program is made in form of block. You can do plenty of options with signs, for example, inserting them, reversing, adding additional information, changing them, but that will be shown by my colleague later. You can also make a kilometrage of road, for example, for the signs or elements you're implementing on your road, as well as, for example, stops which are in every 100 meters. Application also has plenty of functions to make custom boards and tables. For example, you can see now making directional table with a road number, road color, and town name, distance, and other additional information like arrows and kilometrage. But there are also plenty of other tables and custom boards you can make. For example, collective information board, diversion roads, distraction lane assignment, highway exit, or for example, roundabouts. You can also label and insert elements which are next to the road. For example, barriers, you can insert railings, fences, concrete banners, permanent warning tapes, road cones, or retro reflectors. There is also a tool to check passability of a vehicle. The ZWTraffic has some library of vehicles which with specially made sizes. You can insert the vehicle view to your drawing if you need. You can change coloring and elements you'll be using, but basically you can check by moving a vehicle or drawing a line and checking if the vehicle is able to fit on your road. You can also use our tool to create park stands. This function has plenty of different options besides for elements of this car parks. You can change vehicle type, you can change ways of placing or layout of these car parks, and you can also use various angles and dimensions for these elements. There are also tools to create horizontal marking, such as, for example, making lines in the middle of the left side, right side. There are options to create bus stops or horizontal signs, directional arrows and symbols that will be placed on your road. Also, there are a few options for vehicle users, such as making bicycle trails, making signs for bicycle roads, or just road elements, for example, as you can see on the example. Also, there are a few features to make roads or connecting roads to a roundabout. For example, islands or tropes and access roads with parameters that you can change and adjust them. But basically, it's just 2 clicks and you have already made roads, which normally you would need to spend some time to prepare it. There's also a visibility feature in which you can set up a few situations in which car is placed, for example, starting from a crossroad or coming to a crossroad. You can change the speed of the vehicle, you can change its car or elevation. Everything will fit into a visibility field. Now, another add-on that we'll be briefly talking about is ZWNesting. As I mentioned before, ZWNesting is an application for optimizing layout of elements. As you can see in an example, in this case, there are part of a sheet of 4 elements, and some elements need to be placed in. You can choose in the settings a few features about the degree of rotation of elements, if they should be rotated. You can change how the application should calculate placing them. And of course, you can change what objects should be placed inside. As you can see, this is a simple example, but calculation is pretty fast and it finds the best possible solution for those elements. And the third add-on we'll be showing you in a moment is ZWGeo. The ZWGeo is an add-on for surveyors, which has plenty of features for working with a map and with lines and coordinates. For example, there's a big focus on coordinates, elevation, and number of points. You can label points with additional features such as elevation or their distance. You can also make interpolate position of any object based on 3 points and their elevation. ZWGeo also supports working on raster images, and there are a few functions to do so. For example, importing plenty of raster images to your drawing, or for example, cutting a map to fit your size. This add-on also has plenty of options to export and import coordinates of points or lines, and it can be done in TXT or SVG file. Labeling objects are also important for most of surveyors, so we have plenty of tools for that. There is, for example, labeling polylines with blocks. If you need to make them, for example, in the middle of polyline, as you can see on the example, you can also label polylines with the proper layer in which they are on, and you can also label distance of each segment of the polyline. There are also ways to point coordinates and label them easily. You can also create fences by choosing a block in distance in which they need to be placed on a polyline. A pretty important function in ZWGeo is also making tables. There are a few tools to do that, and you can also insert them into your drawing. But there also is a function called active points table, in which selected points or lines, you can edit them in this table, and every change you make in the table will be directly placed on your drawing. The application also has an easy connection with OpenStreetMap, in which you can choose any place you want and easily place them in your drawing. Also, ZWGeo has support for GIS data, for example, SHP files, GML, and WFS. You can easily import them or export them, modify them, work on their properties. You can label them when putting them into your drawing. Also, there is an easy way to make report or for your data. There is also an option to download data from WMS servers, but this function is currently available only in Poland. That's pretty much all from my side. Before I let Mateusz do the real life work example, let me mention one more thing, that if you need any special features for your ZWTraffic, Geo, or Nesting, for example, such as we did for Czech and German versions with their directed library of signs, or need some changing, for example, with reference system that is important with working on maps, you can always contact us, and we can try to work on making a suitable version for you. That would be all for me for now, and let me now leave the screen to Mateusz. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maciek. Thank you.
So now it's my turn. So hello everyone, my name is Matthew, and today I'm going to present you how our add-ons work. I work as a trainer, so I'm not using a presentation, I'm just showing different commands, how they work in a program. I'm not talking about commercial topics, I focus on tools, possibilities, and tricks. Just let me know if you can hear me clearly and if you see my screen.
Yes, perfect. We can see you
screen.
and yes, and voice is good. Yes.
Great. So I'm going to begin. My task for today is to present how our add-ons work. I would need at least a few hours to talk about them in detail. We don't have that much time, so I will only focus on the most important and interesting points. If you have any question, just ask if I can answer them immediately. I will do it, but if I can't, I will just let you write me in my email. So if you have any questions, just ask me. So installing any add-on, if you install any add-on, ZWTraffic, ZWGeo, or any of them, it will cause an additional tab to appear at the upper part of the program window. As you can see, where we have a tab drawing, description, insert, or something like this, we got also ZWNesting, ZWGeo, and ZWTraffic. Firstly, I'm going to talk about ZWTraffic because I know it the most. So you can always use the commands by clicking on the icons, but it is a good idea to put the icons to the screen as a toolbar. To do this, you need to type command toolbar. So I'm using toolbar command. And now I can choose any group. In basic ZWCAD, you got only one group here. So I have ZWCAD, but also I installed many add-ons. So I got ZWGeo, ZWGIS, Metric, Nesting, and Traffic. So if you are using a few commands very often, you can always pin a toolbar somewhere to the screen. And it looks like this, right? I'm gonna turn them off for now. So if you want them, you can tick them. If you don't want, you can always turn them off. If you want the icons to be large, just remember to tick the large buttons in here, okay? So I'm clicking OK. And let's move to what is most important, which is checking how these add-ons work. We'll start with ZWTraffic. As I said, I know it the most. This is an add-on which supports work in designing traffic, something like this. Its main task is to quickly insert vertical and horizontal signs and create their list. We'll demonstrate this with an example of such a map. Firstly, we'll try to insert a giveaway sign next to this road. We don't know how to do this. We just started the application. We just started the program for the first time ever. What to do now? And this, what I'm saying now, is the most important thing I ever told today, okay? So just focus. You don't know how to do, how to use any command. So somewhere among our icons, we can find a textbook with a question mark, and it is here. If you click on a book with a question mark, a manual will appear. If we click in it, you can read how to use any of commands you can use in program. I will turn it off for now, but manual is not everything. Sometimes you need to do something really fast, and what to do then? If you need speed help, you can always call to us, or you can write to our tech support. So if you go to the ZWCAD.pl, you can always contact with us, calling by this number or writing of this email. You can always use a live chat, which is here. So if you have any problem in using our add-ons, just always remember you can call us and ask how to use a function, how it works, okay? So let's try to insert this road sign. I'm going back to ZWCAD. So we select the symbol library, which is the first icon that is offered in ZWTraffic add-on. So I am in ZWTraffic tab, and the first icon is here. So if we click on this, you will see all the road signs you can insert. The library is updated from time to time because the law on the road design changes quite often. For example, a new sign may appear or something like this. If necessary, it is also possible to add your own signs, which do not appear in any regulations. So you can choose any of the sign and put it into the drawing. We choose the sign A7 for giveaway. Of course, these are signs we are using in Poland. So we are choosing the A7. And now we choose the first way of inserting the sign. There is 4 ways to insert a sign. We are choosing the first one. And now what we need to do. Always keep focus on this, what the program says to you in the command bar at the bottom, okay? So the program asks me where to put the sign. Okay, I'm choosing, for example, this place. Now we specify the rotation of the road sign, and the easiest way to do this is to specify a point on the other side of the road. Here you can use the object snap perpendicularity. So I find the perpendicularity. And now we define the position of the face on the reference line, for example, here. And now I'm clicking escape, escape again. And okay, we got the sign. What does it contain? It is very important. So we have a road post, which is here. We got a shield. That's how we call it in Polish, a shield. And we have a description, and we have a reference line, and we have a face. A face is the graphic representation of the sign. It is important that a road sign inserted in this way should automatically be grouped. What does it mean? If I click on this sign, all of it is selected, right? Not only the face, but also the description, the pole, the shield, the reference line, all of it. But it is not always the case, because if you want us to, for example, remove the description, then what? We just want to remove the description, move it. So what we need to do? We can always try to single selection option. We can choose the single selection option. So I'm choosing this right now. I'm choosing the single selection option, and look what happens now. I'm choosing only the description, and only the description is selected, nothing more. So I can move it a little bit or something like this. So the grouping is still grouping still works, but it is not visible, okay? I'm turning the grouping again, and now when I choose the description, everything is selected. Okay, when you go to the library sign, we turn it on again, you will notice that there are several options for inserting a sign. For example, we got an option to insert a sign, but not only this. We can also use a block, we can remove any sign and put another one. And also we got an option to add sign. So I'm using add sign, but first I'm gonna select a B20 sign, which is stop. And now I'm using the option add sign, not to put another sign, but add sign to the existing one. So I'm choosing add sign, and now all I have to do is to choose any sign which is in our project. And now clicking escape, the job is already done. So now I will insert some signs quickly, because I want to show you something very important. I got two signs here, one sign here, one sign here, and I'm gonna add another one. For example, this, I'm gonna put it somewhere in here. Okay, it looks like this. Why do we need many of the signs? So when we design an area with many signs, and it happens often in Poland, it would be nice to be able to count them, okay? So this is what the sign list option is for. Just look at this. I'm gonna use the option for sign list. It allows me to create a table. I just need to add some signs. I'm choosing in the command bar that I want all of them. I can choose which signs I can add to the table, but I can also choose all of them. So I'm choosing all of them. And now I can put the table somewhere in the screen. And it looks like this. So we do not need to count them one by one. We can simply make a table with all the signs we have used. Okay, let's move to horizontal signs for a second. Here we have many options. For example, parking spaces. So I'm gonna use parking spaces. I'm turning on the command. And now we can, for example, specify the size of the parking space. You can also specify the number of parking spaces, but it is not necessary. For now, I got 0 parking spaces. What does it mean? Does it mean that we're gonna draw 0 parking spaces? It's ridiculous. No, but if we set here a number of spaces as 0, the program will adjust the number of spaces automatically, okay? So I'm going to use the option drawing. And now we choose the insertion point, for example, somewhere in here. Then we need to choose the angle. Right? Can you see it? The program adjusts the number of spaces automatically, right? So I'm choosing, for example, this place. And now we need to specify the position of the describing, for example, here. One more thing. And it is done. Easy, right? So let's also try to insert some lane demarcation lines. Select a line, for example, let me check, for example, double line, and I'm choosing drawing. Specify where we want to insert it. So I'm choosing where is the beginning, where is the end. I'm gonna start again. Sorry, again. For example, from here to here. And now, as you can see, we got a double line on the road. Now we specify where to insert the description, of course. We can choose what is the rotation of this description, and the job is already done. Recently, a visibility option was also added. Users of the add-on have often asked about it. It allows us to check the visibility of a selected traffic participant. I'm gonna show you this like this. Okay, so we are choosing a biker, and we can check the visibility of this biker, and it looks like this. I can always turn on the transparency, and it looks like this. Okay, I'm gonna to delete this. So this is the visibility. We can also have the option for checking the passability, and it's very interesting. For example, we got a bus which needs to come from this way to this. Okay. And we can check it if the bus fits in this intersection. So I'm choosing passability. We can choose any car you want. I'm gonna use a big bus, okay? I'm choosing checking the passability, and I'm choosing the first point, another point, and another point. And as you can see, whatever I do, the bus will not fit through this intersection. So what we have to do? For example, we can put a sign that bus cannot come in here, or we can make a bigger intersection, right? Because this bus cannot fit in this intersection. I'm clicking escape, escape again. Let me do one thing. I want to delete something, and now you can see that this bus cannot fit in this intersection. So we changed the drawing, but still we stay on the topic of ZWTraffic add-on. We have a simple tool to make a section. If you want the command to work properly, we need multiple lines with different elevations. We can check it in the properties. Just for example, this line, it has elevation 101. Another one, for example, have elevation 97. And another one, for example, have elevation 95. So we got many lines with different elevations. We can check the Z coordinate always in the properties. Also, when we rotate the view like this, as you can see, the lines are not in the same level, right? I'm gonna change the view to the upside view. And again, now we will check the section. I'm just turning on the ZWTraffic using the command section. And now we need to choose the objects. I'm choosing all of them. I'm confirming it with enter. And now I'm choosing the start point, the end point, and the job is already done. As you can see, the section has been done, and it looks like this. But remember, we need lines that are at different elevations. That's the rule. So let's move on to ZWGeo add-on. This is an add-on. I'm gonna choose the add-on ZWGeo. ZWGeo is an add-on to help you work on maps. It allows you to insert coordinates into a drawing, but not only coordinates. Okay, just select the first command and we are gonna to check how does it work. The first command, insert the points. remember, the program always asks me about something in the command bar. So always, if you are using some command for the first time, remember to check the command bar, because program will help you by asking about specify point, elevation, anything. Just remember, the command bar is your best friend. So at the bottom of this program, you can see that program asks me about the serious marking. I will type ABC, nothing special, just ABC. Now the program asks me about a number. I confirm 1 by clicking enter. And now I can specify point at the selected locations. So I'm choosing this one, and this one, for example, this one. As we remember from the previous command, these lines are not at the same elevation, right? That's why we got 99 here, 97 here, 96 here, and 95 in here. The information next to the inserted point is just the height, nothing else, just the Z coordinate. But it does not have to look like this. Instead of height, we can insert point with coordinates, for example. So let's choose another command. I'm clicking escape and choosing another command. And here we can choose coordinates. So I'm choosing coordinates, inserting the point, and I'm clicking on the map. The first one, second one, third one, and so on, right? So we can check the height, we can check the coordinates, whatever you want. There is many of options. The inserted points can be listed in a table. Just a second. You probably seen that the text size is different, but we can always change this in the settings. When I turn on the command again, I can change the scale of the text, for example, for 1. And now if I turn the command, as you can see, the text is normal size, right? So you can always change this. Okay, let's go to the next command. The inserted points can be listed in a table. It's similar like this. We got some signs here, and we got a table, right? So we can do pretty the same thing with a points we got in here. So we are choosing the command for table. Now we need to choose what points we want to insert in this table. I'm choosing few of them. And now I can just insert the table somewhere in the screen. And it looks like this. Right? Easy. So ZWGeo has simple commands, including one for creating a grid of crosses. This is created so that you know more or less what are the distances between the selected objects. Such a grid of crosses can be made by just a few clicks. Let's go to another drawing with a different map, and we are going to try this command. So I'm choosing ZWGeo. And I'm turning on the command for grid of crosses. The program asks me now what is the distance between the crosses. Usually it is 50 or 100 meters. It depends on the scale at which we want to print the map. Let's enter, for example, 50 and confirm it with enter. Then we specify the bottom left corner here, and the right corner, top right corner here. And actually we are done. We can see that there is a grid of crosses. I'm gonna zoom into it and make a dimension from this point to this point. And as you can see, the distance is perfectly 50 meters because I'm working in such a unit in this map. So this is a grid of crosses. We also have a very simple tool here to control the visibility of the layers. It is worth pulling out the toolbar with these numbers. Can you see these yellow numbers? So I'm gonna put them in a toolbar. So I'm putting toolbar command again. Toolbar, ZWGeo, and I'm using ZWGeo switch. Okay. So these numbers are the same like this, but I can use them if I'm in another tab, right? I'm in drawing tab and I still can use these numbers. So what I'm gonna do now is just choose one number, for example, 1, and now I'm choosing any building in the drawing. Okay, now I confirm it with enter. And now I'm choosing number 2 and choosing any parcel in the drawing and confirm it with enter. Do you see what happens now? I'm choosing number 1, the buildings is in the drawing. I'm choosing number 2 and the parcels shows 2, 1, 1, 2. And you can always change the visibility of the layers. It is just faster than using layers from the drawing tab. You can always use this, but it is always a faster way. So the last add-on I wanted to show you is ZWNesting. So I'm gonna change the drawing for now. ZWNesting. First of all, what can we use it for? Let's just imagine we have a large sheet of steel, okay? And this is this rectangle. And now we need to cut out some element from this rectangle. It is obvious we want to use as little material as possible. So we choose the first command in ZWNesting. As you can see, there is not much of them. So we are choosing just the first command. And now program asks me about choosing the frame. So I'm choosing my rectangle. And now program asks me to choose the objects. So I'm choosing, for example, these all objects, confirming it with enter, and let it begin. As you can see, program in this place, it feeds me all the objects in the way that they take as little space as possible. So we can, of course, change the minimum distances between these objects. I'm gonna, for example, now end this. I'm gonna change the distances, for example, to 15. I'm gonna save this, and now I'm gonna delete this, and I'm using the command again. So firstly, I'm choosing the frame, then I'm choosing the objects, confirming with enter, and this is how it is done. Do you see that the distances are bigger than before, right? Because I changed this in the settings. So I think that's all from me. If you have any question, you can ask me. If I will be able, I will try to answer it. If I'm not able, I will leave you my email and you can always text me to ask any question about it. Thank you for your attention.
I see that there are no other questions. So thank you very much for coming and listening to all of us. It was a pleasure to be here, and thank you, really, Rose, for giving us a chance to be here today.
Okay, no problem. It's our pleasure, Mashik. Okay, so there's no question. So maybe the audience can send the further question or concerns to your team directly with the mayor on the board. And in the meantime, I apologize because the problem of my laptop, so I cannot continue the presentation of the ZWSOFT company. But I will send another newsletter with PDF material to all the audience who attending today with our company profile. So, okay. So everybody, thank you for your time. It's our pleasure to meet you today. So we still have could have many joint webinar with more eco partners in the next year. So please just pay attention to our website and newsletters. Okay, so maybe that's all for today, Mashik.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.